Welcome to another episode of 4GQ TV. We are trying to make it weekly, every week, coming back to the show. And yes, I know I need a new layout, so I'm going to hit up Graphic Guy to give me some ideas and some help. Anyway, with me tonight, I have the one and only in all the YouTube land. It's P Kizzle, PK.
You
First of
gotta,
all,
we gotta write out his introductions or something because no,
I
this is
know
not.
this man. I don't even know. First of all, welcome to the most electrifying channel in all entertainment. It's your boy PK. Thank you, Mr. Clowns, for introducing me. Let me just say, it's another week, in this month that I got excited. You know, a couple things happened this week, and I can't wait to get into those things. But I'm just gonna say I'm a little overwhelmed. I feel like oversensitized for some of the stuff that's just coming at me right now. So
You mean overstimulated?
yeah, overstimulated. How you know that, Paul? You stimulate
Because I know what that word means. Yes, I'd
do?
be smart sometimes, you know.
Stimulation. Okay, well, we gonna with old uh Carlo over here. He's just
I don't know. Has he put out on the old Twitter space that we're streaming now? Has he done that?
I I don't know, but we gonna
I
get
don't
into
know.
this
Yeah.
regardless. We could tweet it out. You know what I mean? Let's get it out there. We'll just get it going because we already behind. So let's keep it pushing. Uh,
Yeah, did give Paul his full introduction here, PK.
well, hey, this man is the most famous person to ever uh roll his wheelchair all over the place, all over people's feet into the stratosphere, in the commercials. The most celebrity Paul, and he got a longer name, power puff up, pop up, power bomb Paul, but we're gonna keep it short for right now. So Paul, please, what's good? I'm gonna give you a proper introduction because everybody knows you be everywhere and do everything because you know about stimulation.
I've just been doing my thing, trying to stay in a positive place. You know, playing some games, hanging out. I gotta say, late this last week, I really haven't played that much because not really much has kind of struck my fancy. I must be kind of going on a lull here for gaming, but that's okay. We got a lot coming up and a lot coming out in the next couple of months too. So
That's what's up. So
yep.
we gonna keep this moving. I ain't gonna wait on Carlo while he over here doing mad scientist stuff to our stream before we
So,
lose it.
yeah, before we lose it, so everybody in the chat that's here right now, Timmy, Megatron, I want to thank you guys. Chi, thank you for being here. Can you let us know, are you seeing this vertically or are you seeing this like long form? Because I want to make sure, because I'm trying to do both at the same time. It's an experiment that I'm doing, and I think I actually use the same, if you guys don't know, stream key, so it might overlap the two. But anyway, man, PK's really excited this week. He got to see the AliExpress version of the Steam Deck. Oh, I mean the Switch 2.
No,
Oh,
ouch.
yes, yes.
What's up, Timmy? We gonna ignore this man as throwing all these shade towards the king of mobile gaming right now. And we gonna keep it moving because we ain't got time for all this shenanigans that's coming out of his mouth.
But I mean,
We
doesn't
gonna
this
get to
look
it.
like something you would find on like AliExpress or Temu for a
Ooh,
retro
ow.
handheld emulator? I'm not saying anything bad.
Yes,
here.
you're saying it's the Wish version of the Switch. Is that what
There
you're
you
saying?
go. I mean, who else would put Switch 2?
Pretty excited. They was forced to reveal this by today, by the way. If anybody ain't see the reveal trailer, uh, it will definitely drop this year, like I
Yep.
expected. And I knew March or April there was going to be a Nintendo, because this around that time they usually do reveals. So I predict it'll drop maybe October, November around the
Really,
holiday season.
I've seen as early as June, July.
I don't think so, only because Pokemon come out around that time, so it'd be good to have a bundle and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure
Mm.
the new Pokemon game dropped this year. It makes sense to drop the console around that same time and get people to
Yep.
grab it for the holidays. That's just my speculation.
Yep.
Not to say I wouldn't want it earlier, but knowing that their
Yep.
biggest game don't drop until later this year, how you going to sell the system? unless you're gonna have a big title to go with it. So that's my thought. Hey, you seen the video, Paul? You check it out?
Yeah, I did. I saw the video, and so I saw some people are misconstruing the video date as the drop date of the console. That is, or of the handheld. That is
You
not
talking
true.
about the stream? You talking about the stream in April?
Yeah. That stream is strictly a direct. They're going to give you hopefully the rest of the information, because they showed you a lot of great videos, but they didn't give you any specs. We still don't know what's inside the thing.
Oh, we do. We got some specs.
We have the leaks. We don't have the official specs.
Well, I would say PK has the official specs in his pocket.
Well, can I ask you something, PK? If you got the official specs, is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra more powerful than the Switch 2?
So I'm trying to understand, are we talking about handheld consoles or phones?
Well, I mean, phone could be a handheld console if you put the Kishi controller on there. So I'm just curious, like, which is more powerful? Can you elaborate for our audience?
I would say the cheaper version of the two is more powerful.
Ooh. Ouch.
Switch 2 is more powerful than the Samsung S25?
I would think the Samsung is more expensive and less powerful.
Are you saying price per what you get out of it? Yeah.
No, I would just say 100% just.
Yeah, but they do different things. I mean, I can't call you on my Switch.
But Paul, this man is trying to throw shade. Let me just say something.
Yeah.
One plays very good games and one plays arcade mobile stuff.
Yep.
Simply, one will have Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth on it, and one will not.
Hold on, wait. Is that because of the Series S?
No.
Oh, stop.
I just had it. I'm sorry, guys.
I will say that it's not as powerful as the Series S.
That's right.
Okay. It's still using the old Integra chip technology. So I was wrong. I thought it was the outer lace, but it's not. It's a modified version of the Integra chip with some new features added to it, so it can use DLSS because it was never meant to use, never built for it. And honestly, the chip it just could not do a lot of things. So it's modified. So they just took, I don't know if Nintendo just went shopping and decided to go to the the $1.99 shop and pick.
That's what they tend to do for the insides of their,
However, what they did do was unique, and the video was able to create a custom board that is not only able to do DLSS, but able to do frame generation. So it should be able to pump out pretty nice visuals while docked.
I was going to say that's the key phrase right there. While docked.
Yes. So while not docked, it's about half the speed, about 500 megahertz. And then when you dock it, it doubles the speed because the extra power is running through it. So,
and with the DLSS and the frame generation, it should look better than the current generation Switch does when it's docked.
It's leaps over that, right? I would say it's around a 1x when it comes to visuals.
I've heard PS4, but not PS4 Plus. I heard somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
it's in a situation where we already know that the hardware is out of date, but then again, they took the old hardware and then modified it with some new technology so it can play up-to-date things. I don't know. So it should look a lot. I mean, if you look at the screen, it's like the same size as the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
and
it is a bit bigger than the original Switch too, because they had the two pictures side by side, and you could see that it was a decent size bigger. I mean, which is good if I ever decided to get one, because the Switch on the original screen on the Switch, it was too small for me to even consider. I can't see that,
and that's understandable. The thing is, the power is not what makes Nintendo sells their Switches. So let's just stop talking about that because it doesn't even matter.
Well, but I think if it wants to do things like Call of Duty, which they're supposed to be getting, and other things,
it will be able to play Call of Duty.
It needs to, so the power, it does come into play at some
It
level.
will
You
it
know,
will be able to play Call of Duty, but it won't be able to do the same visuals as
no,
the
no,
other consoles. And it again, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I want to get into that later, but I just want to put it out there. It's already staked to go on Switch 2.
yep. Well, and I heard that that's one of the reasons they had to do this reveal, because this reveal frees up the games that are going to be on the Switch 2 to start saying, "Hey, guess what? We're going to be on the Switch 2 officially." Not doing that, little sleight of hand thing they did at the award show or whatever it was a couple weeks ago.
So what happened is it wasn't really that, it was they were forced to reveal because at
Right.
CES one of the third party vendors was showing off their Joy Cons and
Yeah.
all their third party accessories, and accidentally they had a prop of the Switch 2 had to show off their stuff, and then
Yeah.
Nintendo was like, you know what, we just need to get out here and do it, because I know they were out there sending their ninjas to go assassinate the people who was leaking this. So and then so anyways, that's why they was forced to do it. And
Yeah.
honestly, we already knew it was coming. The Switch is 8 years old. Let's keep it real. And they got a new Pokemon coming out. Metroid 4 Prime 4 is coming. Like, been waiting for that. That's been in development hell for like, people wasn't even alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's finally coming. So they got some big projects coming. How can you show that off on ancient hardware? You gotta have something new for them to get into. And
I gotta say, for me, the new look, the black, is much sleeker looking. Doesn't look so much like a toy.
you see the LEDs around the
Yeah.
joystick.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of cool. Yeah, I like that.
I like the. It looks more. It looks sharper to me. It looks more professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. And the one thing that everybody keep talking about is not only the release date, but how much is this thing gonna cost?
Yeah.
What do you think?
$399.
$399.
You think it's gonna be that cheap? Do you? Yeah.
That's
Well,
kind of high.
Yeah.
That's kind of high for Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's ever sold a console more than $300.
I think they will, because I mean, they really want to make a profit on this. It's kind of like a risky move coming from the Switch. They don't know if it's going to succeed or fail yet, so why not try to recoup as much money as possible on launch? And on top of that,
it's gonna succeed, dude.
the Wii U didn't. I mean, the Wii. Listen,
No, but I mean, but the hype for
yes.
this is through the roof.
It's like, Wii, then Wii U, Switch, and then Switch 2. Kind of rhymes too. You get
No,
it?
well, stop it. No,
Yes,
stop.
Yes.
I
But
mean,
no.
the initial sales on this thing are going to be through the roof. You and I both know that.
Yeah, Nintendo. That's one thing they do is they definitely will. It's their games, bro. Like that's what it comes down to. Their games push this console.
And they did say backwards compatibility, but there was a caveat that some games may not function.
Well, those games are more likely the same games that like the little 3D things and
right.
little things that was specific to, I don't know, whatever the Switch had going on at the time. But I speculate that all the Nintendo games will definitely be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be too much of a problem. I mean, I personally, if I look at my Switch, I do have third-party games like Mega Man 11 and some other third-party games, but it's very small. Most of them are Nintendo games.
I haven't played my Switch probably in a long time.
Probably, you're not sure. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
I've been playing
100%
it
sure.
for the last 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks. The last month and a half, nonstop.
Yeah. I have to say, I have never played on a Switch. The one time I've been close to one, I was there for a few days, and every time I saw it, it was because it was in the kid's hands, and I'm not going to take it from a 10-year-old. Give me that.
Don't act like don't act like it ain't your first time. Okay.
And so yeah, I've never had the opportunity to spend time with the Switch, but I do know that the screen size for me was an issue. I do look at this and I see that the Joy Cons are offset, which is more comfortable for me.
I mean, you just want to dock it anyway. It's not like
Right.
I play my
So
Switch
when
controller
you
multiple
when you
times.
dock it, what do you do with the if it's so that's why okay. So do you have a separate controller when it's docked, like a wireless controller, like a regular?
So so you can do it multiple ways. So when you take the actual joysticks off the Switch, hence why it's called Switch, they have this little plastic thing that you slot them into, so it actually fits in your hand like a controller.
Okay, okay,
And yes, I do have extra controllers. I mean, I play Smash.
right.
Um, but yeah, you get the Pro controller that's pretty much designed just like the Xbox controller, or you could just use the Switch controllers that
Which would
plug
be
in.
which probably would be more comfortable for me to use one that's designed like the one I'm used to using. You
But
know,
it doesn't matter at the end of the day because honestly,
maybe for you, my hands suck. Okay.
well, I reason why I'm saying this is because the A and B are swapped on the Switch,
Right.
so you're gonna be disjointed trying to push A, and you're really pushing B, and
Well,
A
yeah,
is the other way.
I saw that. Yeah, which is true when I go to play on the PlayStation too. If the screen says X and I have to push the square button, I get really, it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for it. I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it had 10 million views in like an hour. Excited for it. I'm looking to it, and honestly, when it comes to Nintendo, talking about power is just irrelevant because we already know it's going to be the weakest console of all, no matter what. But that's not what sells this thing. Is definitely going to be their games, and that's pretty much the only reason why we buy Nintendo consoles just to play their games. So um, I would say I don't know, Paul. I think that if you like the Nintendo games, you would definitely just dock it and play it on the screen. It's not that big a deal. You won't know anything
And
different.
I do know some people that have never played it undocked. That's all they use it for because
Yeah,
they're not interested in using it as a handheld.
I
You know.
couldn't because it plays 1080p docked.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference in how the
There's
power
nothing wrong
works.
with 1080p.
But I mean, um, it just looks better and feels better when it's
Oh
on the
yeah.
TV. Uh, at the end of the day, I think this is a big deal and it's a big reveal. Everybody's excited. I don't know anybody else that's trying to get a Switch, but anybody who's watching this anywhere else, you guys throw in the chat. Let us know if you're looking for a Switch 2. You guys excited, and we keep it pushing. Honestly, it's big. That was a big reveal.
Well, I don't think there's
Mm.
any other bigger news than the Switch 2 reveal, and that.
Okay, then. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm kidding.
However, this is a topic PK likes is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All right, PK, tell them the news about
First of all,
Steam Deck Verified.
it's remake and rebirth that was exclusive to the PlayStation for many years. I mean, yes, it came to Steam and Epic, but now it's going to be released, rumored to be released. I'm pretty sure it's true on Xbox. Not just Rebirth. Rebirth won't come out on Xbox this year. It will be remake, then Rebirth next year. So remake will drop on Xbox first, as well as Switch 2, and then following that, it will be Rebirth. I mean, yes. So the thing is, I think Square finally figured out the math on how to sell games and how to make games. You know, I don't know about
I'm
you.
telling you because they're seeing what Microsoft is doing, going, damn, there's more money on more screens. Well, no shit.
You
It's like,
know, That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. So this is a big deal. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is because this is one of those Final Fantasies that is more loved than any other Final Fantasy franchise. Period. This is the biggest one,
yeah.
and this is the one everybody cares about. It has more spinoffs. It even has a movie as a
Yeah.
sequel. I mean,
This
if
is
you
the
go,
one that when I ask my friends what's their favorite Final Fantasy, this is the one that comes up most of the time. This one and three but this one always comes up more. That really got them into the franchise. Me, I can give or take because I've never had a chance to really get into heavy into the franchise. But
Yeah, so it's one of those. If you never like Final Fantasy, this is the one
yeah,
that just draws you in because it's not just because I'm not going to say the story is the best story of ever, but the point is how the characters, how they're designed, how they interact with how they build this giant world, and you just believe in it. And this remake, man, just the gameplay alone is better than all the Final Fantasies put together. Even 16 could not touch it. Like 16 was forgettable. Everybody played it, oh, and then it was done. You know what we keep talking about? 7. We keep talking about this. And it's always been talked about. If you go to any cosplay, you're gonna see a Cloud, you're gonna see a Eris, you're gonna see all these things. So um
Well,
it's
one of the
it's
most popular Final Fantasy characters is Tifa.
yeah, absolutely.
Every cosplayer I have met that does cosplay loves doing Tifa.
Uh, Well, I mean, look at her. She's a badass. She's a martial art. When you play her in a game, and Paul, if you ain't never played it and you get a chance to play it, you're gonna be excited because you can swap between the characters um, while the active battle system is happening. So you can swap to Tifa, and you could just do all those battles, fighting mechanics, martial arts. You can do them all with every character. It's pretty dope. Um, and
once it's on Xbox, I will try it because that's usually my thing right now. Because I don't have access to a Nintendo or the older games. So you know, but as soon as it's on Xbox, I mean, especially if it not saying it'll come to Game Pass day one or anything, but
it might.
it might.
We never know.
We don't know yet. So
We never
yeah,
know. At the end of the day, it's definitely worth a pickup. That
yep,
one is 14 was no
yeah,
15 was a big one too. Because that was the first one on Xbox in a long time,
right.
first brand new one anyway. Um, but 10 was also a popular one, but 7 is still the biggest and undeniably um undisputed
So
the most
I
popular.
mean, that's why I've understood that this is really a big deal. That this is finally coming to Xbox. After all
Yes.
this time.
It's like Persona coming to Xbox. It was
Yeah.
like something that large. I mean, if you guys are not JRPGs fans, like Persona series is a big deal. Like that. I mean, look at what won
Mm.
RPG of the year, right?
Yep.
Metaphor from
Yep.
the same people. And I played a game. It's a great game, 100% it. Good experience. They still a turn-based
Yep.
RPG, but the way they done it, it moves so fast you can't tell. It feels like an
Eh,
active battle.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't tried Metaphor yet, but I know a lot of my friends were looking forward to it and played it when it came out. And the other one that hit big when it dropped on Xbox finally was the Yakuza series, and they
That
did
too.
come to Game Pass.
That too. And
Yeah.
and and I bought the last one I bought was the man with no
Which I will say that's the only story I've ever completed to fruition, and that was a great story. I love
you
that story.
if you love it, you got to play it from the beginning because that's why that's so impactful, man. Because that Yakuza is crazy, right?
Yeah.
That the whole thing is just it. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got a lot of crazy stuff to distract you, over the top stuff. But the main core story is
Yeah.
like, wow, this
I'm
man
look.
got locked up for 20 years,
Yep.
and that's the first game. He
Yeah.
gets out of prison
Mm.
for going to jail for something he didn't even
Yep.
do. He just took the blame
Yep.
for it.
I'm looking for the Yakuza pirate one. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so that's what makes these specials because they got all
Yeah.
these characters they could just make all these crazy wild storylines with. So shout out to that. This is why these JRPGs are important or even Japanese games because everybody was crying about on Xbox. Well, go play them. Go buy them. Act like you want them. Don't ignore them. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, at the end of the day, this is an experience that you definitely want to get into because um there's I would say there's nothing wrong with other RPGs like the Western styles, right? You got your Starfields and all that, but JRPGs have their own styles too. and they are definitely something that are attractive because they have a way of making it seem like there's a lot of stuff going on when it's one scene, like a
Well,
whole lot of stuff.
since you kind of mentioned, but I will say what the difference for me, the reason I like a lot of Western RPGs more is like things like Red Dead Redemption 2 is because my teaching and my background, I understand those stories a little more. I understand the culture behind them. And for me, JRPGs a lot of times I don't really understand some of the culture behind it, so I don't get the same feels out of it, so to say. You know,
Yeah, I mean, every story is different, and that's the
right.
whole point is just a getaway. But
And that's the other thing with Final Fantasy. I didn't know until relatively recently that basically they're always different stories, even though they're under the Final
yeah,
Fantasy flag. They're always a different
yeah,
story.
it's well, if you look, all of them are like that. So,
Right.
Namco Bandai has a series called Tales, and Tales, every single Tales is different. Um, uh, every Dragon Quest is different.
Right.
So it just got the same flagship name, but yes, they're all different story. They don't share nothing alike. Even their mechanics, battle mechanics, weapons, everything is different. They're all unique. And but I would say this one, the battle system feels great. They have an easy mode, Paul. So I know you like that,
Yeah.
and it feels great. Like it feels great. Like you feel like a badass from the beginning. It's kind of like
Yep.
when I played Doom Eternal. You
Yeah.
just feel like a badass the whole time. Even when a song comes on
Yep.
in the title, you're like,
Yep.
"Oh, well, it's about to go down." That's what it feels like.
And I just couldn't play Doom Eternal, but yeah, and it's because for me it's about being able to, if I'm going to play the game, especially if it's a story driven game, I want to be able to see the story. So don't make it so difficult for me that I can't move on in the story because I will
Now
quickly put that game down. I will quickly put that game
this one kind of
down.
holds your hand a little bit. Plus, you can put it on the easy mode,
Yep.
so you don't got to worry about that.
And just to reiterate, there's nothing wrong with using easy mode, even if you quote don't have to. Yeah, if that's what you're comfortable playing, play it that way.
You play the game however you choose to play the game. Ain't no judgment here.
Nope.
You know what I mean? People want self-driving cars because they want it easy. So what are we talking about?
You got a point. I mean, that's so true these days. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to drive to the grocery store. I don't know.
As long as they can get past the self-crashing mode, we'll be okay.
Well, the thing is, everything is eligible to be compromised. So I know I might be insecurity, but I like my car's dumb, my house dumb. I don't like nothing in my house. I'm just being real. Uh, but that's me. I like the good old fashioned hit the light switch.
Yep.
What about the clapper? Where you go?
That's like
Clap
80s.
on, clap off. The
Isn't that
clapper.
80s?
No,
You gonna-
no, you're not a
No.
clapper fan.
That's what they used to call my sister in high school. Oh wait, no,
Oh,
never mind.
wow.
It's all right,
So-
Paul. We all like clapping cheeks.
So also you mentioned that it's becoming Steam Deck verified, right?
Oh, it is Steam Deck verified. As far as Rebirth is, yes. It drops on Steam on the 23rd. That's next week, and it's Steam Deck verified already.
Wow, that's impressive. That it's still working on the Steam Deck after the Steam Deck's starting to get older and things are still working on it, so that's a good sign.
Well, when you think about it, most of these games are not pushing
No, they're not.
the
They're not.
hardware.
Yeah, they're not pushing any limits.
So because one, they got to remember they still got to sell these games to the masses. You can't exclude the masses for a couple few who wants to spend $3K on a 5090 or something, right? So you got, and the 50, not trying to get into that, the 4090 is more powerful than 5090. How don't just God, man, these people.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that being said, it's like the game. What I like is they took the game and make it look great without having to need a whole lot of graphical things to push
Yep.
it because it looks great. It looks like they did push a lot of graphical things. That's what's so amazing. It's kind of like Batman Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Knight does not have a 4K resolution, nothing, but it looks better than half these games today
Yep.
because of how the quality and how they did their, all of the trickery in the background to make it look like they pushed the graphical boundaries. And it's not the case. It's just the way that it's presented. And this game in general is presented in the same way. This is why it's able to play on the Switch 2 and Steam Deck and everything else. Is because not because it's
No.
not
Yeah,
graphic.
I
But
will
go
say
ahead.
with Batman, especially if you turn on the Fox HDR on the Xbox, the Batman graphics just stand out because of I think it's because of the lighting systems they used and stuff for that game for that Batman, and the colors. It just makes it look so sharp. It really does. I mean,
Yeah, so it's the same
yeah,
thing with this, Paul. So that's what I
yeah.
was saying. Now, Cry as a Cat, don't judge me because I don't pocket watch none of y'all out there. I done bought 7 Remake on the PlayStation, on Steam, on Epic, and I'm about to buy it on. So don't say nothing about me. But yes, I triple, quadruple dipped this freaking game, and it's because I enjoyed it that much that I was willing to play through it too. Again, same thing with Persona. I bought it on PlayStation, and then when it came to Xbox, I bought it on Xbox and played through it again. Tell Carlo played it. He seen me. I played through it again. It was like it's just those games that some games you play, you just sometimes you love it so much you just don't want it to end. Like you about to beat. I don't want to beat. I want it to keep going. That's how it makes you feel.
Like
Uh,
Star Wars Outlaws, because I like that a lot.
yeah, if that's what made you feel that way. I don't see you playing it anymore, but
Well, I beat it. I did beat it.
see,
Yeah.
you see the difference. When you beat Final Fantasy VII or remake or Persona 5, you can keep playing it
Yeah,
because
Persona 5, yeah.
there's a new game plus on both games.
I think I love New Game Plus on games like that because that makes it so cool. Okay, I'm super powerful. I've got all my shit. Let's go do that again. Let's yeah.
And you get to unlock more stuff you may have missed.
Yep.
So that's the point. So kudos to that. I'm happy that they're doing this and finally seeing the light to be multi-plat instead of being loyal to some other place that's not loyal to them.
Yeah.
Hopefully their sales will go up. So
They
anyways,
should. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's the plan. So
Yep.
pushing it on. I know daggone clowns wants to get to his topic about. So go ahead, bro. Go.
There's a lot of other topics. But no, so Echo the Dolphin, right? I sent you guys the link. Hold on, and I'm having issues here on my end. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, of course you are. Of course.
I blame Paul for trying something new. I blame Paul for
Well,
trying
blame
something
me.
new.
Bull crap.
Let's see, where is it? Okay.
I gotta say, I never played Echo the Dolphin. I have like no interest in this game at all.
Listen,
None.
Paul, listen, you're from the generation that played Echo the Dolphin. What are you talking about? You'll eat mustard on pizza.
Wait,
but
on
not
the Genesis. You know what I played on the Genesis? Tecmo Super Bowl, and I was kick ass at it. Okay, I'm just saying.
So basically, the news is that Sega has filed 2 new trademarks corresponding to Echo the Dolphin franchise. It could signal a comeback to Echo the Dolphin, adding yet another franchise to the growing list of Sega's legacy revivals. So this is kind of exciting because Echo the Dolphin is a really popular franchise, especially back then. I mean, today most people probably don't know what it is. But if they can revive it and bring it back to its heyday, there's so much they could do with this. This is just a classic game that a lot of people had fun with,
Yeah. Now I'm going to be the dark cloud on your parade. Sometimes trademarks are renewed just so they can protect the IP and not do anything with it. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Well, or they can make a game like the new Ninja Gaiden that looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's true. But, speaking of what you just said, this was filed at the end of the year, December 27th, 2024. So I hope you're not correct, Paul. I hope, we see something out of this. You know what? I'm going to go even further out on a limb here and say that I would like to see Ecco the Dolphin RPG.
Oh, jeez.
Who the heck is going to play that?
This guy right here, me, I would play it.
I love to see somebody. I see somebody making a game just for you only. I see that.
Yeah.
They need to make that exciting for.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Welcome, XT Jaden Kingdom. Hi.
Hey, what's up, XT Jaden? And besides Ecco the Dolphin, PK, you got any other words about this great dolphin who probably could destroy Superman in a heartbeat? But go on.
I hope he doesn't make.
He could probably take out Juggernaut though.
No, he could.
Remember, dolphins can kill sharks, man. So Juggernaut may have an issue.
And alligators.
And alligators, yeah.
Juggernaut would ride that dolphin to victory.
Crocodiles.
I don't know. Juggernaut can't moving that fast underwater.
He rides a dolphin. What's up, Pharrell?
Oh, it's Farrell. Hey, Farrell, long time no see.
Yeah, Paul said we should bring the show back, and so did PK. So that's what we're doing. We're starting it back up from the ground up. So the other thing that was kind of on my mind is I'll bring up and just talk about briefly, and it's not video game related, it's more pop culture related, but Justin Baldoni, who did the It Ends With Us thing with Blake Lively, which is Ryan Reynolds' wife, there's a feud going on between Baldoni and Blake Lively over whatever happened on the set. The two were suing each other back and forth, but now Baldoni took it to another level, and he sent Marvel and Disney and Kevin Feige even seen it, a lawsuit saying that, Nice Pool is a character that is mocking him. It's a parody of him, and he wants him to save all evidence to see what was discussed and how the character was created. Now, when I looked up when Nice Pool was created, it was created in 2016 by Ryan Reynolds on a talk show, just joking around. So I'm curious, Mad and Cracked Magazine have always made parodies of people. Saturday Night Live has always made parodies of people. Justin Baldini's in the public eye. He's kind of like a celebrity in Hollywood. I don't know how far this is gonna go. Do you guys have?
It's not. It's not gonna go anywhere. There's no. Parody. Ahead. Parody is protected art. Parody is protected speech. It's not gonna go any.
People have been doing parodies forever and a day. Okay.
Yep.
Scary Movie. Let's go.
Yep. And even though Weird Al always got permission to do the songs that he did, he didn't have to ever, but he just thought it was the right thing to do. But yeah,
good point.
I seriously don't think this is going to go anywhere because, like I said, parody is protected speech under the Second Amendment. So I think Baldoni just doesn't like that what? And if he wouldn't have said anything, nobody would know it was supposed to be based on him. They just thought he was a douchebag from Canada, if you go back and watch that part that he's in the movie,
wow.
So Baldoni kind of made it about him, without needing to. Nobody said, "Oh, that's based on," no, not one person has done that.
I think most people wouldn't even have known
no, they wouldn't have. The only reason anybody knows now is because he's suing all this shit because apparently he can't find work or something. I don't know. I
mean, there's always the corner. Oh,
ouch.
I need a laugh. Speaking of people suing people, this one PK is probably very passionate about, but it looks like Drake is going ahead with the lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar, and he
no, not Kendrick, UMG.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
He's
hold on, before PK goes off on this one, I just want to say something. Is that Drake is saying that Kendrick's lyrics have ruined his reputation, defamation.
oh dear.
UMG shot back and actually said, "Listen, we've helped you become successful. You've used our label. We redistributed your music, Drake, to become successful." So basically, they're saying without us, you wouldn't even be known. And UMG said they intend to fight this lawsuit tooth and nail and defend anybody that Drake tries to bring into it, which I find very interesting. Kendrick Lamar is like, bring it on, because they're both.
no, he ain't got nothing to do with it. This man quiet minding his business. You
No.
know what? He ain't even suing Kendrick. That's the person he need to sue, but he ain't suing him. He's
Nope.
suing the label, which is crazy because Kendrick don't even work for UMG. His distributor is not UMG. That's who he licensed to put his music in other places. All right, there's a difference. Drake, however, is signed to UMG, so that's different.
Well, I was going to say at this point Drake was signed to UMG, but
I mean, his contract is up for negotiation, so what I mean. Like he trying to get 600 million. I don't think that's gonna work, but let's just be real. You can't file for defamation if you started the defamation.
yeah.
How can you?
I just don't get this. I don't.
You say you mad because you lost a rap battle when you sit here and said this man beats his wife and his kids ain't his, it belongs to his friend.
Oh, jeez.
And then when you start that and he said, let's just keep it friendly. Let's not do this because don't tell no lies about me and I won't tell the truth about you. That's what he said.
I lost any and all respect I had for the little old Aubrey when all this went down. Okay, I'm just saying, he came a long way from being Jimmy on Degrassi. Okay,
this has to be the biggest L of all time. This man not only he got banned from the Toronto's. He got a 1-year ban from the Toronto Stadium. How you get banned for your own?
Yeah, no, geez. I mean, it's like he's burning his career down, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, we watch people all the time destroy their own careers, but this is wow. I mean, he's going after his own label or his own, he's trying to make like he's harder than he is. I mean,
well,
seriously,
first of all, the problem was he tried to peddle it like he's doing it for the little man, for everybody else, and like, no, he's doing it for himself. All right, let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is like the biggest thing that is going to come out of this is that a lot of people are not going to want to work with Drake after this because they're not going to trust him, especially a record label. At least I would imagine so. Like they're not going to want to go ahead and pick this guy up if he's causing trouble with other.
I mean, he has his own, and the thing is, nobody. I mean, how many artists do you know has made it big from his label OVO? Tell me. Don't worry, I'll wait.
I don't know.
All he does is sign them and take their music and then come out with his own his own music.
Well, my thing is if he burns this bridge though, because BMG and the other, a lot of them, it's through them that they get distribution.
Yes.
And without that, I mean, you're limiting yourself to be a self distributor because a lot of the just they're not going to want to deal with you. Hey, Lemon.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he might be big, but he ain't the biggest artist. I mean, Taylor Swift is bigger than him, and what they need him for when she consistently is making money for them. So
what I don't get is he used to be doing really well. He was doing a lot of collab with a lot of other artists and stuff, but now he's basically throwing himself under the bus.
But I mean, they were using the same tactic. They were.
Well, yeah,
they were marketing him in stupid places. I mean, his music showed up in the gospel section. Like that don't make any sense. They just blasted him in places he shouldn't have been. That's what made him. It's not that. I mean, think about it. We're talking about he's trying to say that only reason that Kendrick's successful is because of this. And I said, are we still talking about the same guy who won a Pulitzer Prize? You mean the same one? The
Yeah.
only rap artist to win the Pulitzer Prize, I might add. And are we still talking about the same person who has 3 classic albums and some of them in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about? This
Yep.
man has the highest grossing uh, tour for a single artist of all time.
Yeah, but Aubrey was Jimmy in a wheelchair. Oh wait, no, that's different.
He just really mad because Kendrick got a Super Bowl by the way, the second Super Bowl appearance. This time he is headlining, and then he is doing a stadium tour. Now I don't know if you guys know the difference between a stadium tour and a regular tour, but there's a difference between
it's a difference between 5,000 people and 30,000 people. That's what the difference
actually
is.
60,000 to 70,000 people.
Yeah.
And he ain't never did a stadium tour. I thought he was that famous that he can't do it. That's why he can't do it. So the fact that he's doing a stadium tour and he's going to do it in Toronto twice, that's what he's mad about. He's mad because it's his biggest L of all time, man. It's sad, man. He ain't gonna recover for this. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody say he'd be all right. No, he's not. He just can if he just be quiet, went away, he'd been fine. But he keeps throwing tantrums and trying to get attention and throwing smart Alex, at basketball players, and you know what I mean? Like he has more beef with females than any other guy I ever known in life. Like, this is crazy. He just beef with everybody.
So the other thing too that you mentioned about this that I thought was interesting is that you said that I believe you said this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but I think you said this, that Drake wanted to play the Super Bowl, but Kendrick got it.
So of course he did. That's why he made that song "First Person Shooter" last year. He says we're bigger than the Super Bowl. We're big like the Super Bowl. There's one of the lines, and he wanted that track to be played at the Super Bowl. That's not gonna happen, and unfortunately, that's what I can't even tell you. Look, you guys could go look up the timeline and how all this got dealt with. That man just got handled. That's all that happened. He got handled by a real one. At the end of the day, it could have been anybody. But he saying he was drinking his own Kool-Aid and he got with a real one, and a real one handled him. He got handled before too. I mean, Pusha T handled him, but that was shut down by the powers that be. Not a rap battle, but Jay Prince stepped in and shut it down because he didn't want, because that's when we found out he had a son because of Pusha T. Every time you get in rap battle, you find out this man got more kids. Hey, listen, it's not my thing that he gets smoked by real MCs. At the end of the day, he was feeling himself too heavy, and it's unfortunate because some people who ain't never had faced consequences, they go jump out of planes with no parachute, right, and thinking they're gonna be good. When you make lines like "I'm more famous than you are in your own city," and yet you can't go back to that city, and now you banned from your own city, dude, you need to think about your own. You need to think about something here. Like, what are you talking about?
That cracks me up that he did get banned from the Raptors. And so I find that too funny. Oh man, I could never imagine that. A celebrity, that celebrity status that he has.
No, wait, Dragon. When you say that Chris whooped his ass, do you mean physically? Because that's possible. I mean, Chris, Chris has been known to punch a bitch. I'm sorry.
Listen, this man, when he heard about the Super Bowl, this man went to Australia, or he went to go sit with XPQ or whatever, the old Overwatch player, to scream with him to stop I'm gonna launch my tour date in Australia. Like, nobody cares, dude. Look, you gotta realize, Drake, you're not bigger than the program. That's something that everybody gotta learn. You're not bigger than the program, bro. The program is where it's at. uh, everyone is going to be watching the Super Bowl, whether you
Yeah.
like football or not.
Yeah.
Your tour date means nothing. It don't. Even people in other countries are watching the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah. Oh Jesus! I'm not speaking to that.
Yeah, no.
all I know is, he's trying to act like he had a shooting at his house and it was because of Kendrick. Like, you can't blame. First of all, the fact that you're not suing the guy who potentially did do a defamation is what's wrong with this whole thing. You're not suing the person. Like, first of all, when Kendrick dropped any of these tracks, nobody even knew it was coming. He just randomly dropped this out of nowhere. This dude dropped a whole album with no promotion and it went #1 for 3 weeks. Don't talk to me about that. It's just the culture is not feeling you, bro. This is a different thing. No one's fake enhancing nothing. There's no bots. This was a cultural push of something crazy. Like the entire world. I went in other countries and they're singing it in other countries. Like, come on. You can't blame Spotify, and like Spotify has something to do with Apple Music and YouTube and all these other platforms that's also playing this stuff and is #1. It has nothing to do with that. You can't blame these companies for that. He don't even work for UMG. That's what's so crazy.
I just don't get why. I honestly have never gotten why Drake has to feel like he needs to come off as hardcore, as like he's from the hood, because no, he ain't. Okay, he spent the summers in the hood. He spent the rest of the time.
He spent in Atlanta. Okay, that's where he spent.
Yeah,
he spent in Atlanta.
I mean, I don't get why he wants this hardcore. I don't get it. Because he is talented. But he's going for this like he wants street cred or something. I don't know what the hell he wants at this point. Yeah.
I mean, when I watched his interview with Lil Yachty, he said to Lil Yachty, you hate when people be on their phone when you're in the bed and you just wake up and they be on their phone, and then he said, and I was like, what? Yeah, I had to tell him to leave. I mean, he said him. I mean, yeah, tell her to leave. I was like, what? This man just got caught.
Wow.
He just put something out there. Look, this man needs to get smacked. He just needs somebody to put hands on him so he can humble himself. At the end of the day, some people just need, just like kids, you gotta discipline them. So
if he ain't careful, he's gonna really end up in a wheelchair. He ain't gonna be acting, but
well, he ain't gonna have no money after this. That's for sure. I mean, UMG is like the wrong company to sue.
And I think that's why he sued him, though, because he's going after the money. He's trying to go after the money.
But you realize they got more money than you.
Yeah, and he probably was hoping that they would just settle, but it doesn't sound like they're going to settle. It doesn't sound.
So also the other thing too is that they have more
lawyers.
Lawyers, leverage because think about all the radio producers that they've worked with over the years. Think about all the
their relationships. Their relationships. They got relationships with news stations, my guy. They could just call a favor in and they put out an article or something on you. Man, you don't understand. You're not bigger than the program. That's why I keep saying. You're not bigger than the program. You don't want to mess with a behemoth. You don't.
Well, especially if they're the ones that have your if they're the ones who have your rights to your music.
Yeah, they own his masters. He signed that away. There you go.
Well, then he really is an idiot.
It was the largest 360 deal of all time, $400 million.
Ouch! Because they can lock those masters away, and you'll never hear from them again.
Yeah, they'll never try to put them on the radio.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like I said, they got artists that consistently makes money. Like Taylor Swift is consistent. They don't need him. His last albums that he has dropped did nothing. Nothing. So you're not worth 600 million, bro. You ain't did nothing. And everything that you're doing is just making it worse.
Yep.
You now he's like, no, these girls are legal because let me tell you, in Canada, the legal age is 16.
That's why Dragon's mad at him because he's making light skinned guys look bad. He's,
Oh man.
And at the end of the day, he does need to just man.
he
All I
needs
know
to
is
shut up. He needs to shut up. Is what he
all
needs.
I
To
know is this lawsuit is going to cost him more than just money. That's 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna cost him his
Well,
reputation with the
all of his
industry.
stuff with all of his stuff with Kendrick has already cost him a lot of his reputation. I mean, you know.
And that's why Kendrick just doing his thing. He ain't even paying him no attention now. He ain't even paying him no attention. He's just going to keep pushing forward.
Okay, so it's the other name you used. All right, Farrell, let's check it out. Thanks.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. Just stuff in chat. No, not a big deal. Just acknowledging it.
Diddy is out of jail. What?
Well, not
No,
that.
you're
far.
you're way behind.
Yeah,
Way
you're
behind. XD Jading Kingdom.
Yep. So
As PK's typing on his keyboard to try to figure it out.
No.
So so Drake is probably. I hate, like I said, it's a self-destruction thing, and I don't get it. You know.
Well, all I know is it's one L after another, and then all the people he collab with, he's screwing them over. Like just him touching or any collab with Drake is actually ruining their careers, right?
Yep.
So he ain't worth the stimulus package anymore.
Yeah. Wow. I you know what? I thought this whole thing would die down. I didn't know Drake was going to take it this far. So I'm a little shocked, you know, because he's got money to sit on. Like, he doesn't need to do this and act
He
like
can't help
David
himself.
Shore.
He keep gambling in a way.
Really?
He's a gambling addict. He's a
Yeah.
gambling addict, bro. Like he
I was gonna say, why the hell did he sell his masters? Because everybody knows that, you know, it's the control of the music is where you make the money.
It was
you know.
It's $400 million. Think about it. He had a Nike shoe deal and it failed. Now he's trying to do another collaboration with Nike, and if you look at those shoes, ain't nobody buying that either. Ain't nobody paying him no attention.
Nope.
All that stuff, all his deals and stuff is going to go down. The only thing he signed that still was with this gambling company. But outside of that, everybody's like all his little deals is just.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about some of the size of the bets that he made a couple of years ago were just outrageous. Yeah.
That's crazy. I would have never thought. Well,
Telling you, he's gonna return to Degrassi, the next generation. You know, he's gonna.
Well,
Gym
you know,
Coach Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing coming up is we are coming up on the 19th, which is a TikTok ban.
Oh yes, Saturday.
It looks like the laws in the United States, the courts are going to uphold the TikTok ban. And it looks like it's going to go away for a lot of people, and a lot of Americans were making money on that platform too. Like, it paid out influencers, they had big influencer parties, but Mr. Beast had put in a bid to buy it with several billionaires, and so did Kick.
At least so he says.
No, I do believe he did, but so did Kick Streaming. They sent an offer to buy it as well.
And apparently Elon has mentioned it as well, but yeah. But as you pointed out, as you pointed out, though, the head of TikTok is surprisingly going to be at the inauguration on the 20th. So even if it does get banned, it may only be for about a week.
I mean, no, you're right. It could be. Yeah, it's very possible. So that will be interesting. But in the other news is Red Note's picking up a lot of traction now. It's a app in Mandarin, and it's from China, but it's allowed in the U.S. I did mess with it, and I installed it on my phone out of curiosity. And one thing that I thought was really awkward is that it wants audio permissions, not just music permissions, but audio, like microphone audio. Even when you
Nope.
try to
Nope.
upload like pre-existing videos. So I thought that was a little weird.
What
Um,
what's asking for those permissions again? Is it
Red Note.
A
Yeah.
Red Note, another app out of China.
It's in Mandarin too. They made some stuff in English so Americans can understand how to sign up. And I was cruising on Red Note, and there was some funny stuff on there already. First of all, American stuff is blowing up on Red Note all of a sudden, like American content, which is insane. However, I came across this real interesting post on Red Note, okay, by a Canadian rapper who's not like super popular in the US, but he's asking to find a Chinese wife on the
Ooh.
app.
What?
Yeah, legit. He's asking to find a Chinese wife on the app.
I feel like there's a donkey today coming or something. What is going on here?
No, this is real. I'm not lying. I gotta find it again. I will show it on this channel, but I think that it's kind of crazy that people would do that. They would go to this app and
So, yeah, if we do end up at a con together, Carlos, since you have that app on your phone, I want your phone in a Faraday cage when we're near each other.
good thing I'm gonna upgrade soon. No, but and other stuff on there, like some cosplayers that I've known, their stuff has went viral, millions of views already. So I'm testing it out just to see, and I posted the link to this channel to see if we get any people coming in from the app as well. So I'm just curious. I have a feeling that would eventually kind of get banned as well. The other app that is popular is Lemon 8, which is owned by TikTok, ironically, and people are saying that's still going to get banned on the 19th, whether people realize it or not. So curious to see what happens with that. The other thing is that Mark Zuckerberg kind of went back on the fact checking on Facebook and stopped his agreements with those companies to fact check what people say. And now people don't want to associate with Instagram or the platform. I see a lot of people that we've interviewed, for example, out of Hollywood celebrities, comic book artists. They're trying to get off Instagram now and Threads because of what they feel is wrong. Now, I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. But I just found that unique that Threads was this next big thing, and then now it's like I feel like Mark Zuckerberg just threw a wrench in the plan to make it popular and exile a lot of people.
Well, the problem is by going the same route as X is a lot of people don't like that. They think it's going to turn into another.
I mean, the difference is Twitter. I'm gonna keep calling it Twitter. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
that's a private owned company versus Facebook is publicly traded. There's a little difference here. One has to follow the rules of the government. So,
well, I think, and we know that Zuckerberg is, he's all up some of the government's butt right now, and he's gonna, so I mean, they're all doing it. It's gonna be interesting to watch what happens here. I think we're gonna have to pick and choose. Yeah, pick and choose which evil we want to deal with in the end here. Where do we want to stay? Where do we want to go?
Oh, we can just create something new. Mastodon is open source. We can make our own platform for GQTV.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mastodon, I'm glad you brought that up because the CEO of Mastodon is passing on the torch because he doesn't feel like that you should when you run an organization like that, an open source organization, he feels like that you shouldn't be in charge of it forever. So he's passing on the torch to somebody else. But on top of that, he's also making it nonprofit.
Oh.
Because he doesn't want to see it to turn into an X or a Facebook. He wants to see it continue with the open source community, have the people that he's had in the community and people that want to contribute and love the source code. He doesn't want it to turn to some privatized, capitalized system.
I could see that. Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, PK?
So I think that's a good thing. It's kind of like Linux and why that was kept to be open source. It's just a promise to the people, and it's you got to have it. It's like a check.
Yeah.
And let me just say, like, there's always should be an option for people to go, because we know that there is some people out there that just want to push their own agenda and they don't care about no one else. So we need to ensure that there's a check where someone can actually um share their own, have that freedom to actually have freedom. You know, like he said, Twitter said, this is freedom of speech. No, it's not. It is limited to what he wants you to say. So if you say
Right.
anything
Yeah.
about him, oh, it's a wrap for your account.
Yep.
If you say anything about anybody he knows or likes, it's a wrap for your account.
Yep. So it's his version of freedom of speech. It's as long as he likes it or it doesn't offend him. Yeah.
You're right.
So
And that's what happens when you deal with a privatized company. When it's public, there's differences here. Now you got to answer to the public, the shareholders. There's differences here.
yep.
Well, Paul, anything else that you want to bring up while we're here?
Not really. I mean, if you're into wrestling, Michael Cole's pitching a fit because they pitched him off of Monday Night Raw when they went to Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
That's a
Wow.
biggie. That's a
It well, it
biggie.
is for wrestling fans. You know.
That man
You
been
know.
doing that forever.
Yep.
That's a big one.
And yeah. And the big news, of course, is WWE has signed a deal with TNA Impact. They will be working together for multi-year contract. So NXT and TNA will be doing crossover events and things like that. So that's actually going to be interesting.
It will be, because
Yeah.
that they're just doing exactly what the other promotion is doing.
Yep. And it'll be good for both companies. It'll give WWE, it'll give NXT more people to wrestle. It'll give them a different crowd. It'll also TNA and NXT work well together because they wrestle the same kind of harder style too. They aren't the same, quite the I don't want to say softer,
I would
but
say over what is it called? Over what is it? Overproduced. Is
yeah,
what it is.
right. So
That's
I
what.
mean, I think it's going to give us some interesting things to watch actually, and it's definitely going to put TNA in front of more eyes again, which they haven't had in quite a few years. So
I
it's
mean,
gonna be good for them. Going to be good for wrestling in general, I think. So
yeah. I mean, any kind of collaboration that boosts the promotions, even the smaller ones. See, that's a different position than
yep,
Vince, right? Vince had a different. This is why it didn't work. Like when Triple H is in charge, you see things different and it starts working out. And so that's a good thing. It's always
yep,
good to push for the future, because we're if you're a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of all wrestlers, no matter what promotion they're signed to, and they don't always get the fair shake at one place, and sometimes you got
yep.
to move around, but you want to still watch them, so that's what it is.
And this way, because when we start seeing some TNA stuff, you're going to probably see some names that even some of the old school names, because some of the older guys who have gone over to TNA, and they're wrestling over there. So that'll get them back on, not necessarily the big stage, but the bigger stage. So I'm looking forward to it. And I do like what I've seen so far on Netflix as well. Um, I'm kind of and Pat's back. I'm not a big Pat fan, but I understand why they like him. He brings energy. Um, but I do think they kind of screwed over Michael because they brought in that other guy, Joe Tesser, whatever his last name is, who's good at doing other sports, but he's not so good at wrestling. So I think Pat kind of buries him because Pat is so loud and so energetic that if you're quiet and you're with Pat, nobody's going to hear a word you say.
What is my rules, Paul? You got to have
What's
2 out of 3 things to be successful.
what's
You got to
that?
either have mic skills, you got to have charisma, or mat skills. You got to have 2 out of 3. And if you only got one, you're not going to make it.
Yep.
And
And
sometimes just mic skills and charisma will take you far.
well, yeah, and well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying I don't know that Joe is the right match for Pat, because I don't think Joe knows a lot about wrestling, and we know Pat doesn't know a whole lot about wrestling. Uh, you know, Pat's just loud and proud. Pat reminds me of when Jesse Ventura used to do that bit. You know,
Mm.
taking the side of the heels and always saying, he's that side of it, which I get. But you also still need somebody who can still call the match properly.
Yeah, and that's why you do get some vets in there, because
Yeah.
they understand on the technical side what's going on, right?
Yep.
Anyways, all right, clowns. I think we hit all of our big ones, because the biggest one was Switch 2. Let's keep it 100.
Yep.
And I think we beat it to death.
All right. So, Paul, where can people find you?
At home, as always. I'm sorry. Let's see. Where can you find me? You can find me on Twitter at Cerebral Paul 1, Twitch at Cerebral Paul. You can find me here on Thursdays. You can find me on Wasted with Wise on Fridays. You can find me doing editorial and some write-up stuff for the lordsofgaming.net. And I think for now that's about it.
And then we have PK, the most electrified man in all the YouTube land. Where can we find you?
Definitely find me on 4GQ TV. And looks like we're back. We're having our weekly show like we used to. So we're gonna keep pumping up and keep pushing forward, and we will be putting out more content here soon. Anyways, thank you guys for coming out, hanging out with us, and talking about all these crazy topics, because we crazy and around about. But it's what's in the new, and that's what we getting at. So thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody. Well, you can find me on 4GQ TV. We got some content coming up. We have Central Florida Comic Con, which is this weekend, so I'll be attending that. I just dropped a review of the ObsBot $99 AI webcam, which I won from a X contest. So it's not sponsored or endorsed, but I got it for free. And yeah, keep looking forward. More content will be dropping. But thanks everybody for coming out, hanging out with us, and hope you all have a good night. Thank you.